Hello everyone, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our social media platforms provide us with the opportunity to have discussions and to create space for all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Sunday, and we actually just dropped a thought piece this past Sunday, so definitely be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. Now, if it is the case that you are looking for a listening alternative, well, we are available on 12 different podcast platforms for your listening leisure, and we provided you with access to the links in our descriptions down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like our conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And today our topic of discussion is mental wellness. And on the topic of discussion today, we're going to be talking about how much is too much. At what point is your need or your desire to be accommodating becoming detrimental to you? Now, this is a conversation that was brought to my attention, and I'm going to give my hot take. This is definitely personal opinion, and I think all of us can have a different vantage point by way of the boundaries and the limitations that we set, not just on others, but on ourselves. Like, at what point are we breaking our backs in a way that is inappropriate in order to satisfy the needs and the expectations in any given relationship? So this is something that I do believe is applicable, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a familial relationship, a friendship, like whatever the style of relationship, we always need to ask ourselves, typically prima facie, so before those situations come up, at what point should the situation signal that I am bending far too much? So we're gonna go into 3 perspectives that I have on when accommodation or when your desire to accommodate is a bit too much. And so I'll just jump right into it. So the first one that I have in mind is when it hurts you. When accommodating is hurting your sense of self-respect and hurting your sense of self-regard, if satisfying the needs of that relationship is hurting the relationship you have with yourself, is making you see yourself as lesser than, then at that point you are compromising far too much. I think that it's very important that we recognize that there is a relationship that we are sustaining with ourselves that is always either going to be in harmony or in conflict with the relationships that we have with others. And oftentimes, if our relationship with ourselves starts to erode because of the relationships that we're trying to sustain with others, it means that that relationship with the external needs to go. There are no relationships that should supersede the one that you have with yourself. The one that you have with yourself should be healthy, it should be protected, it should be honored. over and above the relationship that you're sustaining with other people. And if someone has expectations on you that is hurting your sense of self, that is making you feel lesser than, that is making you feel like you aren't worthy of respect or of regard, or your humanity really doesn't have much value, then that is a surefire signal that there needs to be some changes and you are bending far too much. Now, my second perspective on this topic when it comes to accommodating and being overly accommodating has to do with certain things that I just don't believe are up for grabs. There are certain things in life, certain things that we're hoping to attain, certain things that we're hoping to experience that just aren't up for compromise. Not everything is negotiable. I think there are things that are so fundamental to our sense of self, so fundamental to our spirit, to our sense of completedness and wholeness, that they're just not some things that we should compromise. And I think that if compromising with others is hurting your peace, if it's making you feel inner conflict, if it's making you feel like you're missing something very significant, if it's making you feel like the sacrifice was too big a sacrifice, like you're sacrificing aspects of yourself that you're never going to be able to recoup and regain, then in my opinion, that is overly accommodating. It's just too much. I do believe in compromise. I believe in compromising in areas that are going to have a significant impact on my sense of self, my evolving sense of self, and my sense of personal growth and development. And I think that anything that infringes on my non-negotiables, so the areas in my life that are too significant to my core to ever be up for grabs by way of compromise, I think those relationships also need to go. And the last point that I want to make when it comes to when accommodating is overly accommodating is when you're hurting yourself with no prospect of rebounding. So if the sacrifice is so great that there's no way you're going to bounce back from that sacrifice, or it's harming you in a significant way, like it's causing you injury in a way that you're not going to be able to recoup, then that is too big a sacrifice. So those are the three that I wanted to cover. I wanted to keep this quick, and I think I'm keeping it quick because I think it can go down several different rabbit holes, and I think that I just want to keep it high level and then you take it for what it is. It's really just me sort of extending the conversation on boundaries, because I think being accommodating is not about breaching boundaries. It's not about bending boundaries. It's about recognizing like what serves you, what doesn't serve you. It's about recognizing when the choices you're making are at your own detriment, and when to recognize that the expectations or the pressure that people are putting on you is inappropriate. In any case, that's the conversation for today. So hopefully that was informative. I really do want to give you some perspective by way of when you're bending a little bit too much, when your flexibility is probably something that people are taking advantage of, and you never want to feed or send signals to opportunists to come and abuse your kindness because you're not quite sure like when to draw a line. And we always need to know that before we're put in situations. At least that's the best case scenario. In any case, before letting you go, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that we will be going live at least twice a month, every month for the foreseeable future on our Facebook page. So definitely be sure to tune in. Now, these events are paid events, so if you do see yourself participating on an ongoing basis, then I do suggest that you take a look at one of our package plans. Yeah, so we do offer package plans over and above our live events, and these plans offer unlimited access to our live events as well as access to webinars and workshops over and above those live events, largely focused on self-mastery. So definitely be sure to check that out and be part of our Game Changer community. Be part of the change that we're hoping to create through insightful, thought-provoking conversations across the board. So if you're still here, you know what to do. Be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And I look forward to chatting with all of you very soon. We'll talk to you later.